Okay, so welcome to our first training of our 90-Day Drive to Director program. My name is Shallon Pate, Director with 31 Gifts, and today's topic is bookings, all right? So I've got a lot of information I want to share with you guys, and I want to be mindful of our time, so let's get going. All right, the first quote I want to share with you is from a guy by the name of Rory. Last name is Vaden, V-A-D-E-N. And it says, the more we have invested in something, the less likely we are to fail. So I take that as if I'm putting time into my business, if I'm taking the time to book parties and do all the things, I am less likely to fail. I am consistently putting my time and energy into something, and I don't want it to fail, nor will it fail. And a lot of that's connected to mindset, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. I do want to share with you that sometimes all that hard work that we put in right in the beginning, we don't always see the benefits. The first two people you ask to have a party might say no. That means you keep asking. It is said that within 2 months of the work you're putting in, you're going to see the benefits. So keep that in mind, okay? I have people say, no one is booking parties in my VIP group. Well, VIP groups are a whole nother topic that we could discuss, but we don't have time for that today. But building relationships is what that VIP party is for, not necessarily for bookings, all right? So when you put that post out there, book a party, even if you're putting an incentive, sometimes that's not going to work, and we're going to talk through that, okay? But I want to remind you that your future depends on what you do now. It is vital for your business to book parties. Yes, you can have bingos and bunkos in your VIP group. Yes, you can take bulk orders. You can do all kinds of wonderful things, and I encourage you to try all of those. But we need to be partying with different hostesses day in, day out, month in, month out. That is going to sustain the longevity of your business, all right? Booking parties. I want to share with you that the energy. We have emotional energy and physical energy. And so emotional energy is so important because our emotions run high. We joined 31 and we are so excited. We have that first launch party. We're the hostess. All of our friends and family support us. Maybe we even get to that 1,000. We qualify. Woohoo! We get a couple amp jump start things. And then there's nothing. There's no parties because you've been on that high of that launch party. Now the real fun starts. The real hard work starts. And that's where you have to book parties. And so that emotional energy can get exhausted, and then your physical energy has to kick in. All the time. When I work hard all day, whether that was in the classroom as a teacher or booking parties, doing party posts, getting products set up, recording videos, I am mentally exhausted. That is my emotional energy. But it says that the pivot point comes when your emotional energy is exhausted and your physical energy steps it up. All right? This is when things really start to change. Emotional energy is greater than physical. That's where I want to tie in mindset, okay? Don't say, I can't get bookings. I can get bookings and I will get bookings. Mindset is everything. People say, no one will book a party. Well, that's not true. I have 142 houses in this neighborhood. If I asked every single household head, female, whatever, to have a party, somebody's going to party. The people in your circle aren't partying. That's why it is key to break outside your circle. All right? So let's talk about those connected contacts, all right? That is so key. So when I went through the Accelerate program and I got this whole new verbiage of connected contacts, I was already doing that. I just wasn't recording it. I don't delete text messages. I don't delete Facebook messages. And the magic for me often happens in Facebook Messenger. I can scroll back 4 years ago when I messaged somebody and that message is still there, okay? I just wasn't physically writing all those messages down. And so I really felt like that was a game changer because I could connect with all these people. And then the next week when I was working on my next week of connections, I could go back to that first list. Well, if Sally never responded on week 2, I'm going to ask Sally again. And I'm probably going to keep following up with Sally weekly until she responds to me because it counts for that connection. when you have that back and forth conversation. If somebody just says no, I don't just say, okay, thanks for your time. I say, here's a party link. This hostess could use an order, or have you seen the monthly bundles, or could I check back next month? Or you got to kind of keep that conversation going. It's okay to accept no if that's what they mean, but you need to know, is that what they mean? Is it no, not ever? Is it no, not right now? No, I'm never going to host a party, but I would love to join a shopping club. All right, so we have some options to have those conversations with people. Okay, one thing I want to share with you is language, the words we use. There is desperation language and there is determination language. Here's the difference. Desperation. Gosh, Cindy, I know you are so busy. You have 3 kids, you work full time, they're involved in sports. I know that you probably can't have a party, but I just wanted to ask. You have given her the opportunity to say no. Okay? Determination language. Hey, Cindy, I know that you are so busy. So am I. The girls are going everywhere. We're flipping these houses. I'm selling these bags. But here's the deal. We have awesome bundles. I have this awesome luau themed party, or I have this awesome new online party script. I would love if you could carve out 30 minutes of your Thursday night next week. Would you have a party with me? And obviously that conversation, that verbiage is going to change, but that's the difference. Don't set them up to say no. You're setting yourself for failure if you do that. So keep in mind desperation versus determination. All right? All right. Another thing about connected contacts, it's not just getting the yes or no. It's building that relationship. It's having that back and forth conversation. I cannot stress that enough, all right? And you might think of somebody that you want to ask to have a party, but you have not talked to them in 6 months. That's a cold call. If you just say, hey, Sarah, I haven't talked to you in 6 months. Would you have a party for me? There have been times I've wanted to do that, but I try not to. And I will just say, oh my gosh, Sarah, I saw some new family photos. I hope you and your family are doing so well. Okay? But you write her name down somewhere, okay? Follow up with her later. There are times when I will message someone and say, hey, Sally, this is the epitome of a cold call, and I do not like to do that, but I am being very transparent. I need another party on the books for this month. Could you help me out? True story. I did that last year to a girl. She joined my team. She's not still active, but she did Pika. She's got a lot of other stuff going on. I hope to pull her back in eventually, but I was just transparent with her. And that is something you will learn. Being yourself, being transparent is so key. They want to see who you are. They don't want to see a front or a fake. They want to see and hear from you. Okay, so in regards to how you track your connected contacts, you can simply message tons of people and then just write down your yeses. What I did, and I did hard copy, maybe you do Excel spreadsheet, that's up to you. I wrote down the name of every single person I contacted. I wrote down their name, the date I contacted them. What did I ask them? Some people I asked to join, some people I asked to party, all right? Depends on where I'm at with my relationship with them. And then I highlighted those that connected. That's how I did it. You can come up with whatever system works for you. I would encourage you to somehow track everyone you talk to. So when you go back week to week, if Cindy, Sally, and Sarah didn't respond on week 1, then on week 2, contact Cindy, Sally, and Sarah, okay? Now, where do those bookings come from? The Franks list. Do you know about the Franks list? We have friends, we have acquaintances, we have neighbors, we have kid connections, we have spouse connections, all right? Take that a step further. Break it down a little bit more. Who are your ballpark friends? Who are your swim lesson friends? Who are the country club friends, or the pool friends, or your exercise friends, or your church friends? All right, or your high school friends. Break it down a little bit more. There are so many more people that you can contact that you probably have not yet. I want you to think outside the box. This is big. One time, my husband and I tag teamed a party, and we had the hostess, the girl, her husband was there. They invited other couples, and we called it Bags and Brews. Okay? Another out of the box idea is just to do bulk orders. Now, that is not getting in with a hostess, but I will tell you what I've done before. I'll do a bulk order and I'll say send your order in by Wednesday. I'll put it in on a bulk order and one person can win the rewards. So many times I tell them, hey, Ashley, you're at a $300 party. Why don't you send this link out to 5 or 10 friends? Let's see if we can get you to 500. So then I'm working with that customer more as a hostess, and then I have the potential to tap into her people too. Okay, I just launched something called Battle of the Besties. I want 2 best friends to think about, where are their lives not connected? Do they have different church families? Do they have different exercise families? Are their kids in different schools? And how can I do a Battle of the Besties, connect with both of their people and have a little fun between them? So that's something that I'm trying. Mega parties or private parties. There's different options in how to do that. Again, you could say, hey, maybe these 3 girls work in the same office, the same colleagues, but how are they separate? Battle of the colleagues. You could do something like that. You have online parties, you have catalog parties. You can deliver cookies to a doctor's office and do cookies and catalogs. You can do in-person parties. You can do texting parties. You can simply give a shopping link to somebody. You're not really having that party feel, but if you do a really good job of every time that person gets an order, if you text them, email them, follow up with them, send them your VIP contact information, get them in your customer group, ask them if they'd have a party, you can still build a really good relationship that way. Another thing I want you to think about, who are your ride or die people, all right? Who's the rebel? Who's the rebel friend that if heaven forbid you found yourself in jail, who would be your friend right next to you? Think about that person. Ask them to have a party. I am guilty. Some of the closest people to me, I don't ask to party, and it's something that I struggle with. Had my sister party for me last month because I needed a party. She had a good party. So who's the rebel? Who's the rescuer? Who is the friend who's going to come rescue you out of jail, get you out of jail because you and the rebel got in there? So we got the rebel, the rescuer. Who's the caretaker? Who's that friend that if you are sick is going to bring you chicken noodle soup, or who's going to take your kids to school, or is going to come by and fix your little girl's ponytail because your husband cannot? Rebel, rescuer, caretaker. The lifelong friend. Who's that friend that has been there forever? Maybe you see and talk to her every day. Maybe you're in the same neighborhood. Maybe you guys text once a week because that's all that life can handle. But who is that lifelong girl who has always been there? And then who's your role model? Who's that girl? She might be your age, a little bit older, a lot older. Who's that girl who would never let you fail, who has taught you from the beginning, who is just that role model? So let's recap. Rebel, rescuer, caretaker, lifelong friend, role model. Go after them for a party, or maybe go after them to join your team. Who are your ride or die girls? All right? Forgot some of the things on my notes here. Themed parties or something. I mentioned luau earlier. I have done muffins and mimosas. I've done wine and chocolate. I've done mocktails on the patio. Whatever the case is. We have those awesome wooden trays for the time being. Maybe have a charcuterie kind of party. How can you think outside the box? All right, so I just wanted to piggyback back to that. Another way to get bookings is to play games. Like in-person parties, you can do the dice game. And then when they roll dice, the numbers 2 through 12, you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You have 11 opportunities to win something. And so when someone rolls the dice, and I've done this in an online way as well, but there's a grand prize. They are all wanting to roll that dice essentially to win the free large utility tote. Maybe it's a Ruby Mini, whatever is in your stash. So if they roll snake eyes, the 1-1, they get the grand prize, right? Okay. But the other winnings are little prizes or book a party. And so you strategically get 4 or 5 book of parties in there. And if you do, if everybody takes part, if you get rid of all 11 of those envelopes, like if you're in person, then you can book 4 or 5 parties that way. I've done it online by just making a graphic, and maybe I have 10 little flowers, pick a flower, and some of them are book a party. All right, now sometimes people are going to ghost you and they're not going to follow through on their end, but it's just another way. So think of a game you could play potentially to get a party booked. All right. I want to wrap it up and go back to connected contacts just because I genuinely feel it is so important. If you are not disciplined enough to just ask every single day, shoot out messages left and right, you're in the pickup line, you're checking out at the grocery store, you're whatever the case is, if you are not consistently doing that, like I was already consistently doing that, I just wasn't physically tracking it. If you are not, I want to encourage you to physically track it regardless, but if you really don't think you can make the time, well, you have to because you're in the program, right? I'm thinking that I'm just talking to anybody here, but you're in the program. So you need to write down those connected contacts, okay? Make it a priority. Do not use a pass on a connected contact. Do not. If you simply do connected contacts for 3 months, you are going to see a change in your business, and I cannot encourage you enough to do that. So this is the end of training 1 on bookings, and I can't wait to see you guys next time, and I cannot wait to see how you rock out your businesses. Take care.